Hello and welcome to this session. This is Professor Farhat, in which we would look at option contracts, and it's going to be a very basic session just to teach you about calls and puts, how to calls and puts work. These topics are covered on the CPA exam BEC section as well as the CFA exam. This lesson is also covered in an essential or principles of investment course, undergraduate or graduate. As always, I'm going to remind you to connect with me on LinkedIn if you haven't done so. YouTube is where you would need to subscribe. I have 1,800 plus accounting, auditing, tax, finance, as well as Excel tutorials. If you like my lectures, please like them, share them, put them in playlist. If they benefit you, it means they might benefit other people. Connect with me on Instagram. On my website, farhatlectures.com, you will find additional resources to complement and supplement this course as well as your other courses. Please check out my website. So let's talk about the call option. What is a call option? What's the big idea? Well, let's assume you want to buy a stock, or let's assume you want to buy a car or a house or a textbook. Let's start with a textbook. Let's assume you want to buy a textbook for next semester, and that textbook is called Intermediate Accounting. That's the course you're going to be taking. Don't take it unless you have to. It's a tough course. Okay, so you want to take Intermediate Accounting. So what you do is this. The textbook today, if you want to buy the textbook, it's $200. But you don't need it today. You can contact a student that's taken the course now and pay that student a fee. We call it a premium. You pay a premium of $5. You pay this student a premium of $5, and this student will guarantee the book for you for $170. You say, don't worry, once the semester ends, I will sell you the book. You have 2 weeks. I will sell you the book for $170 within those 2 weeks. That's the deal. Okay, so what you did is you purchase an option. You paid $5 premium and you purchased this option to buy the book. Now this call option, notice it's called an option. Option means if you don't want to buy it, you don't buy it. If you want to buy it, you can buy it. What does that mean? It means within those 2 weeks between the 2 semesters, if you can find the book for $150, guess what? You will tell your friend, thank you very much. You can keep the $5 and you will buy the book at $150. If the book rises to $205 or $220, or if the book rises, there's a shortage of the book, guess what? You're going to tell your friend, look, we promise that within those 2 weeks, anytime I can come and buy it from you for $170, and I want to exercise my option. And that's basically what the option is. Now let's talk about options when it comes to actual options in the stock market. A call option gives the holder the right, notice the right, not the obligation. The right means the option right, to purchase an asset for a specified price called the exercise price or the strike price. Remember, our strike price was $170 on or before some specified expiration date. So to look at an actual example, we're going to look at this option. This is for Microsoft, and this is old because from 2017, now Microsoft is above 200, and who knows where it's going to go. The strike price is 72. So for example, July 7th call option on shares of Microsoft with exercise price of 72 to purchase Microsoft price at 72 up to including the expiration date. So you can buy it at 72 up to including July 7th. Now, there's always a price to pay. You're going to pay $1.15. Notice here, this is the premium that you have to pay. So the holder of the call is not required. You don't have to buy it at 72. But you have the option from today until that date, whatever today is. Let's assume today is June 1st. The holder would only exercise the option to buy if Microsoft share exceeds that price. So when does it make sense to you to buy? It only makes sense to you to exercise the option if it's above the strike price, and also you want to cover your fee. So simply put, you want it to be above $73.15 to make net profit, net immediate profit. But we'll talk about the details in a moment. If the share price remains below the strike price, if it's below 72, guess what? You're going to pay $1.15, and actually its options are traded with 100, so it's 115 times 100. So you buy options in in lots of 100. So this is how much you will pay. You'll pay $115. So if the exercise price never exceeds 72, what's going to happen is you would lose the 115. Now you can buy it maybe at 68. Yeah, right. Again, Microsoft is starting to be above 200. Okay, so you would leave it unchecked. If not, exercise before the expiration, a call option simply expire and becomes worthless. So if it did not exceed really 72 or 73.15, if you want the net profit, you just let the option go and you would lose the 115. Therefore, if the stock price is greater than the exercise price on the expiration date, the call value equals to the difference between the stock price and the exercise price. So if on the exercise, by the exercise date, the price is 73 minus 72, you have $1 of profit from the option, but remember you paid $1.15, so you're still at a loss. So you really want it to go above 73.15. So the net profit on the call is the value of the option minus the price originally paid to purchase it. And we're going to look at the numbers in a moment. So the purchase price of the option is called the premium. So this 115 is the premium. It's basically you have to pay someone to give you that option. They're not going to give it to you for free. Now, what is the psychology? What's the psychology behind your position and the other party position? You think when you buy a call option, you think the stock price is going to go up. Therefore, you want to lock it in. The seller of the call option is exactly thinking the opposite. The seller thinking Microsoft, it's going to drop below 72. Therefore, they will pocket the 115 and they will never have to give you the stock. Why? Because it's going to be below than 72. Okay? So the buy of the call option thinks the stock is going to go up. The seller of the call option thinks the price of that asset will go down. So basically put, we have a pessimist and an optimist. The buyer of the call option is optimist about the stock, thinks the stock's going to go up. The seller thinks the stock price is going to go down. So the seller of the call option, who are set to write the call, receives a premium income as payment against the possibility they will be required at some later date to deliver the asset in return for an exercise price less than the market value. So that's what this is the pessimist job. So the pessimist job would write it. The reason I say pessimist because they're hoping that the stock price goes down. That's why they sold you the option, because you are never going to exercise it. They're going to keep the premium. If the option is left to expire worthless, the call writer would clear a profit equal to the premium collected. We said if they sold one contract, they made $115. But if the call is exercised, guess what? They have to give the stock to the optimist at 72. Now, if they have the stock, it's not a big deal. But if they don't have the stock, and the stock right now is at 78, they have to buy at 78 and give it to the optimist at 72, who thought the stock price will go up. Okay. If the call is exercised, the option writer profit is the premium. Obviously, they have $115. But if they have to buy it at 78 and they have to sell it at 72, they have a loss of $6 per stock times 100 shares. They have a loss of 600. Then they made a profit from the premium of 115. They will have a net loss of the difference between the two. So the profit is the premium income minus the difference between the value of the stock that must be delivered and the exercise price is paid for those shares. Now, if you already have the stock, so what some people do, if they have Microsoft stock, so if you have 100 shares of Microsoft, if you have 100 shares and you bought them, for example, 100 shares of Microsoft, and let's assume you bought them at $50, then it's not a big deal. You would sell this option, to sell them at 72, and you will get $115 right now, $115. You'll pocket $115. Well, if the stock price goes up, that's okay. Well, if you bought them at 50, you can sell them at 72. You'd still made $22 in profit plus the $115. But if the stock price goes down, guess what happened? You keep this and you keep your stock, which is still at a profit. But the thing is, if you sold the call, if you wrote the contract, and you did not have the stock, that's risky because the stock could jump to 100 and you have to deliver it at 72. Therefore, you have to buy it at 100, deliver it at 72. If the difference is larger than the initial premium, the writer would incur a loss. So obviously, here in our situation, if you have to buy it at 78, guess what? You are at a loss. Okay. Let's take a look, at some additional numbers. Consider the July 27 expiration call option with an exercise price of 72 on June 2nd, selling for 115. Until the expiration date, the call holder may exercise the option to buy the shares of Microsoft. So this is an American option. American versus European. American option, you can exercise this up to any time up to that date. If it's European option, you can only exercise it June 2nd. European is only you have one specific date. Assume the stock price on June 2nd is 71.75. It's below the exercise price. So it will not make any sense for the buyer of the option, the person that paid 115, to exercise the option. Why would I buy, why would I exercise it, buy it at 72 when I can buy it at 71.15? I already lost the 115. Okay, so it will not be exercised. Indeed, if the stock remains below 72 by the expiration date, the call will be left expire worthless, because no one's going to buy it for 72 when they can buy it for something else. On the other hand, if Microsoft is selling above 72, the call holder will find it optimal to exercise. Now, what's the most optimal price? You want it to be above 73.15. But let's assume the Microsoft is 73 on July 7th. The option will be exercised. It will give the holder the right to buy it to buy 72, to pay 72 for a stock that's worth 73. But remember, although you thought you made a profit because you bought it at 72, but it's selling at 73, remember you do have the $1.15 fee. So basically, net profit, you made 15 cents because you end up paying a fee. So simply put, to make real a net profit on this option, the price of Microsoft has to be 73.15. In other words, you have to count how much you're paying for the stock, which is the exercise price plus the premium. So you have to cover both to make a profit. Okay. Nevertheless, exercise of the call is optimal at the expiration of the stock price exceeds the exercise price, because the exercise price exceeds the proceeds will offset at least part of the purchase price. So the call buyer will clearly profit if Microsoft is above 73.15, as I told you. The net proceeds will just cover the original cost of the call plus the premium. This is what happened. So again, this is the call option. Now let's take a look at the put option. What's the big idea of a put option? So this is basically different than the call option. Put option is when you want to protect against the downside. Let's assume you do have Microsoft stock, or you don't. Let's assume you have Microsoft stock. So we're going to talk about covered put option. You have Microsoft stock. You have 100 shares of Microsoft. And here's the fear. You purchase them at 72. Let's assume you purchase them at 55. It doesn't matter what price. That's the price. Your fear is, and right now, let's assume it's trading at 75. Okay, so right now, it's the Microsoft is trading at 75. You purchase them at 55. Now you have a profit of $20, but guess what? You fear that the stock price within the next 2 months might drop down below 55 or below a certain number. So here's what you do. You would sell a put option. You would sell a put option and you would tell someone, look, I will give you Microsoft stock between now and July 7th for $72. So the strike price is 72. If you pay me $32. I'm sorry. Let's talk about a put option. How does a put option work? The put option, basically you are protecting yourself from a downside in your asset, from the downside. So you fear the asset that you have might go down in price. Let's assume you purchase some Microsoft shares at 68. That's your cost. That's your cost. The price right now is 75. Okay, but you're not ready to sell, but you fear the stock price might drop to 65. And if it drops to 65, guess what? You are at a loss. So here's what you do. You want to protect this. What you do is you buy July 7th, strike price of 72, but it's a put option. What does that mean? It means you pay today for, $32 per contract times 100 shares. You pay today $132 to someone, and you will tell that someone, between now and July 7th, I can shove down your throat or sell you, basically. I'm sorry about the expression, but the point is I can sell Microsoft shares to you at any time between now and July 7th at $72. My 100 shares at $72, and you have to buy them. Now, what is your fear? Your fear is, or what is your motivation? Your motivation is, if the stock price keeps dropping to 60, to 69, 68, you can sell it at 72. You have a peace of mind that you are protected. The other person, what's the other person thinking? What's the other person that got the $132? So here you are a pessimist. Here, when you buy the option, the buyer of the put option is a pessimist, is the pessimist. The seller of the put option is optimist. The seller saying, yes, give me 132 and I will buy Microsoft from you for $72 up until July 7th. Now, what is the seller thinking? The seller thinking, look, Microsoft, it's going to go up to 100. I'm never going to see this individual again. So bring it on. Give me 132 and I will sell it to you I will buy it from you at 72. So this is the psychology on both ends. So what is a put option? Put option is gives the right to sell an asset for a specified price or strike price on or before the expiration date. Here we're talking strike price of 72, expiration date July 7th, and you have to pay a premium of $32. That's the big idea. On July expiration, put on Microsoft an exercise price of 72, entitled the owner to sell Microsoft to the put writer for 72, even if the market drops below that price. Okay. Whereas the profit on a call option increases with the asset increases in price. So if you have a call option, you want the stock price to go up because you can buy it at a lower price. And a put option, you want the stock price to go down. Why? Because it goes down, you could still sell it at 72. A put will be exercised only if the price of the underlying asset is less than the exercise price. So if this price went down to 70, you tell them I can sell it to you for 72. Okay, that's below the exercise price. Now bear in mind, when someone buys a put option, they don't have to own the share. So they can buy the put option, and what happened, you don't have to own the shares. So upon exercise, what you would say, the investor's broker purchased the necessary shares of Microsoft. Let's assume it's trading at 68. At that point, you will buy it at 68, and you have the right to sell it at 72. You see, you don't have to have the stocks. At the beginning, I told you have to, when I explained it, I said, if you have 100 shares, you don't have to have 100 shares. So you can buy a put without having the shares. And basically you would buy it at 68, sell it at 72. But remember, you paid $132 in profit. So you will make $400 profit. The difference between 68 and 72, $4 times 100. Then you have a premium of 132. So let's take a look at another exercise. Consider the July 27th expiration put option with an exercise price of 72, selling on June 2nd for $32. So that's the premium. It entitled the owners to sell Microsoft shares at 72 at any time up until July 7th. So from June till July 7th. If the holder of the put buys the shares and immediately exercises the right to sell it at 72, let's assume they will do that, the exercise proceeds will be 25 cents. Now, obviously, no one will do that. An investor who pays $32 for the put had no intention of exercising it immediately. It means you want to sell it at 72. Okay, so you will not sell it at 71.25. But that's what it is. If, on the other hand, Microsoft is selling for 70, well, that's good. If it's selling for 70, I can sell it for 72. I have a $2 profit under those circumstances. The put will turn out to be a profitable investment if the value at the expiration will be 70. Well, you want it to be below 72, but specifically, below 72, but really you want it to be below 72. And remember, you paid $32, so you want it to be even below that because you paid a premium. Okay, so the investor, so you made a profit of $2, then you have to cover your premium, $32, so you made 68 cents per share, and if you bought 100 shares, you multiply that by 100, but simply put, that's, if you want percentage-wise, this is a holding period of 68 cents. by paying $1.32. That's 51% over 35 days. That's pretty good. That's not a bad return at all. Okay, now obviously the other party is not thinking that's what's going to happen. Again, when you have a put option, you think the price will go down. When you have a put option. So let's talk about an option. When we say an option is in the money, what does it mean, an option in the money? That's good. An option in the money, it means when you exercise it, you will have a positive cash flow. You will have a profit. Positive cash flow means you have a profit. Therefore, a call option in the money, when the asset price exceeds the exercise price. So if you remember the exercise price, X equal to 72, when would that option be in the money? When the price is 72 plus. Any price above 72 is in the money. Well, a call out of the money, it's the exact opposite. So if the exercise price is 72 and the current price is 71 or 70 or any price below 72, we'll say that the option is out of the money. Why? Because if you exercise it, it's not profitable for you. We say the option is at the money. Guess what? When the exercise price equal to the market price, to the asset price. When that's the case, we say the option is at the money. Let's take a look at these numbers real quick. What will the proceeds and the net profit to an investor who purchased the July 27 expiration Microsoft call with an exercise price of 72 if the stock price at the expiration is 70? So if you bought a call option, the call option is at 72, and remember, for that you paid $1.15, but the price is 70. You have no profit whatsoever. You have a loss because you will never exercise, and you lost 115 times 100. You lost $115. Now, if the stock price is 74, if the exercise price is 74, guess what? You can buy it at 72, sell it at 74, and you make a profit of $2. Then you have to pay your fee. Then you have to cover your fees. Then after covering your fees, what's left is 85 cents, and this is your profit. This is your profit, net profit. Well, 85, and you multiply it by 100 shares if it's a one contract. Now, answer part B, for an investor who purchased the July expiration put with an exercise price, again, the same thing. Here, the exercise price, it's going to be 70, and the exercise price is 74. Here, what's going to happen is this. When the exercise price is 70, you make a profit. It's 72 minus 70. Here, you make a profit. So you have a profit of $2. Then again, you have to pay $1.32. So what's left to you is 68 pennies in net profit. If the exercise price is 74, well, guess what? You make no profit if you have a put. Why? Because why would you sell it at 72 if you could sell it at 74? Therefore, what you would lose is your $1.32 times 100. So you would lose your premium, $132. So notice here, this is a loss. So for the call, when the stock price, when the price is 74, sorry, this is the price, exercise price is 72. Again, exercise price is 72. Exercise price is 72. When it's at 74 for the call, you have a gain. When it's 74, you have a put, you have a loss. The opposite is true. The opposite is true for the put option. The put option, when the exercise is 72 and the stock price is 70, you have a gain. Here, when the price is 70 at a call and the exercise is 72, you have a loss. You don't do anything. You let the call expire. In the next session, we would look at values of options, not of options, of options at expiration. Once again, if you like this recording, please like it, share it. I'm going to remind you again to connect with me on social media and visit my website, farhatlectures.com, where you have additional resources to supplement and complement this course as well as other courses. Good luck, study hard, and stay